Today we'll be discussing the devil in the deployment. Now, this research was conducted in the areas of Eastern Cape and KZN, and it was focused on the farming and how to improve the farming in the rural areas since there is a shortage of food supply and water. So, our colleagues are going to carry on with the presentation.
In the background of the case study. So it goes as follows. Climate change poses a significant threat to humanity, especially in South Africa, where it is expected to increase food insecurity and poverty amongst rural areas where people depend on sustenance farming. Over 4 million of South Africa's population rely on subsistence farming to reduce food insecurity and sells a surplus in produce informally. Climate change directly impacts the poor, particularly in the Eastern Cape and KZN, which experience poverty. This has increased the number of rural subsistence farmers focused to grow crops to feed their families. Hydroponic farming, which can be classified into 6 methods, is on the rise due to its potential higher yields, reduce in water usage, and elimination of dependence on the natural climate. However, the technical requirements, um, however, the technical skill requirements and manual monitoring may be daunting to the first time hydroponic farmers. Many researchers are using AI and IoT enabled hydroponic systems to automate tasks and reduce knowledge requirements and management overheads. Thank you.
Welcome. We're going to be getting to the methods of this presentation. Let's start with the research setting and participants. The setting is based in Eastern Cape and KZN, and there's high poverty and food insecurity. The participants are the Sweetwaters community and the 600,000 members of the community. They get paid 2.4k and they have an HRSC partnership with the participants. Secondly, it's the co-design approach. These people are working with subsistence farmers. There's technology designed for industrialized nations. ICDT was part of the study. It was important to involve community members because they needed to understand the socio-cultural context and the creativity of designers and people not trained in design so that they can work together to solve one main problem. There's alienness of materials since that project is based in Eastern Cape and KZN, which we know that there's a shortage of supplies there. There's increased power used to create differences between the research and the end user designers. There's a paradox of choice, meaning there's too much freedom and too much creativity since there's enough land to do all of that. Farmers experience ideation fatigue in a lot of ways.
So in this part of the project, I'll be explaining and presenting the findings and the results of this presentation. So first, I'll be doing the AI human symbiosis in the field. So here I will explain how farmers will have to adjust in becoming a co-grower with technology, because at first farmers were not really critical of these parts because farmers usually did everything manually, like using their hands. So now, because of this new technology that has arrived, farmers will have to have a shift in their mindset, in which means farmers have to reflect on their traditional methods and have to adjust to the new knowledge and skills.
We have now come to the end of the presentation, As discussed in the presentation, we have now seen how that hydroponic farming is the future of farming and how AI has been implemented in order to create these systems that make farming so seamless and more advantageable in the rural areas of South Africa. Thank you for listening.